Hey,
Am here. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy you're
Okay.
here.
I'm not. Okay. I thought for a second I was echoing, and that is the most annoying thing, right? Because you hear yourself and you want to listen because you like your own voice, but you can't because you have to entertain the people. So thank you for fixing that. All right. So today I'm actually not going to talk about something that is book related. I'm going to talk about something that plagues us every single day in our businesses because as women, we tend to not charge enough. So I want to get your brains thinking about how to charge what you're worth. And of course, this is tied into having a book and knowing you're an expert, right? Because you can always charge more when you have can wave around that printed piece of multiple pieces of paper that say you're amaze balls. But today I'm going to quickly show you and grab a notebook, grab a pen, because there's numbers and it's math and it's fast. So time and money are not the same. So what are you worth and how do you figure that out? So the first thing I want you to write down, I will share this with you guys. Don't worry, you'll get this after. You don't really have to write this fast. What do you kick ass at? What's your thing that you're like, I'm the bomb. Nobody does it like me. I'm unique. They need to hire me for this because I'm going to change their life. What is that one thing? And you might have a couple things, but we talked about story yesterday. What's that one thing that you can wrap up in your story? That's the first thing you're going to write down. And then the next thing you're going to write down is how did it change your life once you learned it? Once you've mastered it, once it transformed you, what was different? And that's important because that's going to be your answer for your client. That's going to be what you can tell them, you can give them for a result. Because remember, you are proof of concept. Oops. See. All right, so this is where it comes in. One of my favorite sayings I tell people all the time is it took me 10 years to learn to do what I do in 30 minutes. And my clients are going to pay for the years, not for the minutes, right? And you're the same way. So how long did it take you to learn that kick-ass thing? How long did you spend mastering that? Now with me, these are actually my numbers. 26 years I have been in marketing, sales, and advertising. I wasn't a publisher. I didn't write a book. I had none of that in my even mindset, none of it. But I knew how to write because I wrote copy for years for clients. I knew how to sell because I had been out in corporate sales jobs, agency sales jobs. I was a trainer for sales. All of those things brought me to where I'm at now to be able to help my clients write kick-ass engaging books. So about half of the year, because you got to sleep, you got to eat, you got to do other stuff for your job. About half of the year, you're mastering that, right? So in that 26 years, that's over 27,000 hours I've invested in becoming the badass that I am in today. So I want you to take that. How many years did you spend and times it by 1,040? And that's how many hours you've invested. Now here's where the math is going to get tricky, but it's all going to make sense. Now take your average salary and divide it by a year of hours. So you know approximately what you were being paid per hour at that time, right? If I take all those years from the beginning to the end, I was about $39 an hour over the course of my life, times those hours. Oh my gosh, I've what, $750,000 is what my time is worth. Wouldn't you agree that it's at least worth what I was getting paid? The next step is to figure out how long would it take you to teach someone what you do. So how long does it take you for you to get your client a result? Does it take you 4 months, 6 months, a year? For that kick-ass thing, how long? Now for me to teach you how to write the best book ever, it's going to take about 120 hours. And that's if I'm going all the way in and I'm teaching you how to teach it. I charge $350 an hour for one-on-one. If you're not a client, that's just the 1 hour rate. So that'd be $42,000. I want you to do this math for yourself because you're going to be amazed at how much your time is worth. The thing is, we don't teach our clients how to teach. We teach them how to do, right? We're not going to teach them how to become a competitor. We're going to teach them how to do what we do so they can get the result that we've gotten. Now you can do this in a group format, or you can do it one-on-one and high ticket. And there's one more step and the math here. So that's going to change how long it takes you to teach. So I can teach you how to become a best-selling author in 30 hours. Of course, that's spread out over time. If you wanted to work a full week, all right, I'll clear my calendar, but it's about 30 hours. So you need to figure out what is 25% of the time, and then do that math, because that's your minimum price. So now everything that you price going forward, all those value stacks where you sit there saying, how much is my 2 hours of coaching worth? How much is my workbook worth? How much is my kit that I'm going to give them here? How much is that worth? You have a price you can base it on. No more, I'm sorry, but I would be pulling numbers out of my ass all the time in the beginning. I don't know how to make this value stack work up so that I can charge $1,600 or $1,997. You don't need to know it anymore. You just break out your 10.5, and if you value stack, just make sure it equals that. This doesn't mean you have to charge that amount. That means at minimum, that's what you're worth at minimum. And you can choose to give it to somebody for 50% off, 25% off, whatever you want. But just remember, your clients need what you have, and they have 2 options. They can spend the years, or they can spend the money. Not a lot of us have the time to take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to master what you've mastered. But if they don't want to spend the money, they're not your client. And remember that. So figure out what you're worth, have that be your minimum price, understand your value, and start charging a higher ticket, because money is replenishable and time is not. And I just blew through that because I didn't want to go over 10 minutes, but I am going to download this for you guys, because the math to sit down and do it is going to be a lot more than 8 minutes, right? On a Zoom. But when you do it, it's going to make a huge change in your mindset. You're going to understand you've not just invested money in your business, you've invested everything that you've put into you, that previous bosses have put into you, that previous corporations, previous businesses, previous experiences in life have put into you to make you as good as you are at what you do. So make sure you are charging for that. And this is the perfect way to figure out exactly what it's worth if you have to put a dollar amount on and you don't know where to start. Haley, are you good if I'm done?
I don't know. Can I be good if you're done? Yes. Thank you.
I thought about you today when I was craving a dragon fruit Starbucks.
I actually, yes, folks, went through the drive-through at the Starbucks last night and got these. This is the dragon fruit without the mango or the fruit pieces in it, so I could put them in my fridge overnight.
Nice.
No ice, no fruit pieces.
I saw that Mark just put down the link. So if you guys want to schedule a chat with me and you want to talk about this, have me help you figure out your number, I'm happy to do that. We'll call that my freebie for today. Anybody that wants some time to work on their number, I'm more than willing to do that. Just grab the link that Mark just dropped and I will stop sharing, unless you've already stopped me. I think you have.
I have stopped you sharing.
Awesome.